Welcome back, guys. We're in the shed. We've got an event on this weekend, Burnout Mayhem in Leeton. So we've got a lot of cleaning up to do on the car and get it prepared, change the oil, all the usual stuff. So I'll give you a rundown on what we need to do with the car and how it's holding up after summer nats, and yeah. So we had a bit of an issue with, it kept draining the battery. We're not 100% sure on that particular problem, but all the dash lights and all the electronics had cut out, which we thought maybe that was draining the battery. Wasn't 100% sure. So I've got the battery out of the Wagon in it now, and we noticed, put the multimeter on it, had a runner the other day, and noticed that it was charging still, but we had found this nut here that gives power to the whole car basically. So all the fuse panel, just everything to do with the car was loose. So you'd wriggle it and it'd cut the power out. So fairly sure that's what the problem is with the dash cutting out, and the gearbox would go a bit funny, like the electronics in it, like it'd kick you back and it'd just go all funny for a moment. So I'm glad we fixed that problem, and I'm just hoping that was the problem with the alternator as well. So I just want to trial something. I got the car up on the hoist and I spun the wheels with the calipers on there, and obviously when you got the caliper on there, the brake pad's there, it's just slightly touching the brake pads, and to me it felt like there was a little bit of drag there. So I've just pulled them off, and to spin that there, it feels like it's spinning a lot more freely. I don't know, it's just something I had a thought about it, and I thought, well, the back brakes aren't hooked up, so I can pull them off and give it a try. So I think I'm going to pull the calipers off, and I'm just going to cable tie this up to the brake line somewhere and just trial it. It's not going to hurt anything. I do probably eventually want to put the hook the brakes back up to this, possibly. That way I can do, like, I did want it for Bathurst, which it might still happen. Put a tap in, that way I can stop easy up the straight and stuff. But yeah, I just thought it feels, obviously normal cars drive around with the calipers on, so there mustn't be too much of a drag there, but the pads do just touch a tad. So I thought I might pull it off and give it a go, and it does feel a lot better. So I can pull them off, and yeah, went over all the bolts on it. So we went over this, all these bolts, just every bolt that I've had undone and whatnot. And remember how I mentioned at Summer Nats that it had started to drag and it was nearly right through? Well, you can actually see kind of the thread on that plug. So with the tiniest bit of gas that we had left, which I actually slightly ran out in a couple spots, I've dodgily tacked that bit of flat plate onto there. Haven't attached it to this, just so the cover can come back off. But yeah, I've just tacked that on there. Because it's running the triple SLs, it just dragged its ass right across the ground. But it's what, if you want the look you want, you gotta put up with these things. Only thing I'm worried about, which isn't too much of a drama if it happens, is that if a bit of wire or rubber catches that and peels that off, breaks those cable ties, it'll just dangle around inside the rim, unless it got tangled around something. That's the worst that could happen, but hopefully it should be okay. So I've cut them ends of the cable ties off, pop these springs back in and drop it down, and I might start giving it a pressure wash all under here, out there, and wash the whole thing. We're gonna roll it on out, get the pressure washer set up, do that little bad boy, and start just giving it once over the pressure washer. Try and get as much rubber off as I can from underneath, just because we don't want any fires, don't want anything to spark a fire or anything like that. So we'll do that, start by doing that. Oh, and now I've got it down, I can show you. I've got one tail light out, which I'll have to put that back in quickly, because I took the other one out because obviously I'd cracked it. Oh, that's the old one there. So I'd cracked it. So I've got another one here that I had spare when I got the other side. So I just got to put that in, which I'll dummy fit it up now before I start washing. But I've got to get it blew both the brake lights. So the park light's working, but it's blown both the brake lights. I don't know if it's because I've had my hands on it and the dirt on my hands. Once it heats up, it causes chemical thing and gets hot and blows them. So I'm just giving the shed a bit of a tidy up. The car's all clean now. You've seen me clean it a million times, so I thought I'll just get it over and done with. I've got to clean the inside still, and after I clean the shed up, I'll probably take all the stuff out, get this rubber off and clean up the inside. Then I might go get some oil and drop the oil. Just got the rubber off in a rag, and I'm going to start going over everything, try and get most of it off. This stuff is good. You do have to still give it a good rub, like on the bulky bits. Like, you'd be surprised, a more blacker bit will come off than just a smudge. But no, it seems to be working alright. Spray it on, leave it for 30 seconds, and then rub it off with microfiber cloth. It's getting there. I probably will give it a polish afterwards, or I'll just spray it with my wax stuff, just so it brings that shine back. This side isn't as bad, so it should be able to come off pretty easy. So it's looking pretty good. There's a few little bits of rubber spots where I might go back over after and just find little spots and quickly wipe them over, but other than that, doesn't look too bad. I could have went a bit more on this bumper, but I might do that just before Bathurst, give it a good one. This side there was barely anything, so it still looks good. I'll just put the hoist back under it. I'm gonna go get some oil for it and change the oil and see what the other oil looks like and smells like. Now I usually like to start it up, warm the oil up so it's a lot thinner and comes out a bit easier, but I'm not going to do that this time. Just want to get it over and done with, so I'm going to got the tin under there, I'll chuck her under and just drop it all out. It should be all in the sump because it's been sitting for a while, so hopefully it does drain out reasonably quick. So, and while it's draining, I ended up getting some bulbs, so I'll drain the oil and fix the tail lights up. Now, I just know that this is going to go everywhere, because Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong, will go wrong. So, a bit of luck, doesn't spill over. Okay, that worked pretty good. So, it seems to be alright, there's nothing in there. It does smell a little bit fuely, but I think that's pretty right. I think it's a little bit dirtier than last time. Oh well. That's why we change it. Dodgy filter strap. Use this to get it off. I'm just going to loosen it off and let that drain for a bit while I do the tail light. But I just want it so it's easy when I come back up the front here. I guess it's not dodgy if it works. Now we lost my other dodgy mounting off this light because it's broken off, but we have a new dodgy mounting bracket, clamp thing, hose, whatever you want to call it. Blow it out. Get a little bit of soapy water and put on that so it can get in the hole a bit better. There we go. Perfect. Even better than factory. There we go, bulbs are both done. Now I'm gonna set the camera up on the tripod and film me turn the brakes on. Just yell out when you tell me they're working, so no, I'll come back and check the footage after. Make sure they're working. Reverse working, yep. Now the brake. Be all drained out, so I'll put the plug back in and then I'll pull that filter out and let it drain. Perfect. Now I'm going to get some brake cleaner from work and I'm going to come back and give everything, no, during the week, before the end of the week, before the burnout's going to come and give everything a bit of a wipe over. Better chuck that brake clean rag out before I'm mistaken and pick it up and wipe the car with it. That would not be good. Shove it right down there, we don't want to see that ever again. Yeah, I don't know if I showed you guys. I picked this up yesterday. Brand new toolkit. I got a gift card for my birthday. $250 at Super Cheap. Anyway, this was only $189. Bit of a bargain. It's got 1/2 inch, quarter, 3/8, 1/2 inch deep sockets, 1/2 inch up to 32 from 12, and back imperial, 1/2 inch to inch in imperial, and yeah, it's got from 3/4 and from 19 down to 4mm and down to 3/16 in 3/8, so it's pretty good. Got runner spanners there, and it's so easy to just pick up and take anywhere. It's got a fitting, so I can put all different screwdrivers, spark plug sockets, breaker bar. It's bloody down from $320 down to $189, so a bit of a bargain. Then I just bought, with the rest of the money, a new set of pliers. Everything there. Actually, that reminds me, I've got to find the receipt so I can claim it back on tax. Now, after the burnouts are on, I should have some more content for you. The wagon. So as soon as this weekend is done, VB's coming out, come around here, pink car's going over there, wagon's coming straight on the hoist. I can say I'm overdriving my Hilux, it's too slow, and I miss driving this, so I need to get it up on the hoist, fix it up. First thing I'm going to do is pull the gearbox out, check the flex plate, and then nothing there. If it's nothing to do there, that way the engine can come out a lot easier without the gearbox attached, so that'll be the plan there, but I really need to start getting into it. Poor things sitting out here all neglected. We won't talk about the ute, but so's that, but the wagon's meant to be my daily. So I've got to fix that up straight after this weekend. So I've just got some 10W50 full synthetic, and I can't stress this enough, always, after every comp, I just always change the oil. I know it's probably like the oil's probably still good, but I know in my head that I've done everything I can to save the engine if anything was to happen. So I know that nothing would be my fault if the engine was to fail. And I know it's just getting fresh oil and just lubing the motor up. That way I know it's all good, so I can't stress that enough. Same with the VZ all the time, this and that, every event. When that's on the road, it'll probably be a bit more different, but that one especially will be getting oil changed most regularly. So they're both, like I got told, engines are oil's cheap, engines aren't. So just what I learnt. It's a lot cheaper to just go down, spend money on oil and filter, and change oil and filter, and be done with it. Now I've just thought of an idea. When I start getting into my wagon, I've got a chest mount for my GoPro, so I think I might chuck that on, and when I'm working, you'd be able to see from my perspective, and that way it should be in the way too much, and I can film a lot more while going. Still set up on the tripod and stuff, but I can also film doing that. It might be a bit of a different perspective. I know I've probably said this before, but I like to put half a litre over in the oil, just so I know everything's getting lubricated when it's in its high revs, pushing all the oil around. I know there's that little bit extra oil in there, so I always get 6 litres. That way, if I need any extra oil, there's half a litre extra oil and half a litre over there. So I just realised I got a couple more things to do. Just got to get the battery bracket and mount back up, and I won't tighten this just yet. I want to leave that off for now, but I've got to put some coolant in this radiator. All it's got is bloody water in it, so once I start it up, let it warm up, run it out, and drop the water out there, and put some coolant there that I can fill it up with. The cold starts on this thing have been terrible. Just getting in, have to start it, it won't idle. They're not terrible, but it won't idle straight away. I have to hold my foot just on the accelerator. I don't want to hold it up too high. I'll hold it just on the accelerator, so just above idle, just for a bit until the half warms up, and then comes good. We've been playing around with the idle, but there's not much you can do. You can't really play around with the idle too much when it's cold, because it's got a tune in it, like it's got half a cold start tune in it, so play around with it to get it to idle when it's cold, and then when it's warm it won't idle, so no point mucking around with it too much there. But yeah, so I just dropped the water out of it now. It's dried up pretty quick because it's that hot. Just gonna get the coolant, and hopefully, yes, this one has a tap on it, so makes it a bit easier. From the tap. Already been sitting under the bench. Just a container, not inside. Fix that park light, and it should be for good now. I bent the bins out, and hopefully that works consistently. Well, I think we're all pretty well ready. I was going to pull this off and have a look inside that, see if there's anything inside that. I might still, but not at the moment. And if I don't, I don't. So I reckon it's pretty ready. The only thing I got to do is tighten up that terminal when I put it on to load it up. And I was going to show you guys today, but I've ran out of time and it's hot and I'm exhausted. I've got to fit up some tyres, the rims, and I was going to show you me doing that, but time's just slipped away today. And I think I'm just going to get this video up and out just as a a day of preparing it for the burnouts. And if I get time, I might vacuum it or something like that. But other than that, I think it's pretty right. And the other thing I've got to do is put some fuel in it, which once it's loaded up, we'll do that. Take it straight to the petrol station. Fresh E85 in it. Yes, I'm pretty happy that there was minimal work that needed doing. Been doing a fair bit of stuff out at home, and I haven't really had the time to really hook in and get things done. So I'm glad it wasn't too bad. So yeah, like I said before, fuel the tank up, put those tyres on rims. We got to get new other tyres anyway, which we'll take them down tomorrow and get some new sets because the missus isn't skidding, so it's I'm skidding and the old man's skidding. So there's two qualifying and a finals, so we're gonna get 3 sets each. If we make the finals, we do. If we don't, we don't. No biggie. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave the video there. Give it a like, subscribe, comment down below, and we'll see you guys on after the burnouts on Saturday. So I'll be filming a day there. Hopefully get a bit more footage, and I have been at some other events. But yeah, see you guys in the next video.